Onion, I am glad you have come. I have a task of a most urgent and confidential nature, and I can think of none other to whom I can entrust it. You are doubtless familiar with the Seedseers, yes? Condi Senna, Elder Seedseer, leader of the Order of the Twin Adder, and guardian of our fair nation, clearly needs no introduction, but know you also of her siblings? The two young Pajales, Sister Rhea O. Senna and brother Arum Senna, make for Everstate as we speak, where they will perform a ritual of great import. Verily, such import that it would be no overstatement to say that the very fate of Gridania hangs in the balance. As you well know, we dwell in this forest by the good graces of the elementals, eternal guardians of the Twelvewood, and most of all the Great One who dwells within the guardian tree. Yet our ceaseless warring and ill treatment of the trees that shelter us have aroused the Great One's ire, and it is only by the quieting, the ritual of which I spoke, that he may be placated. Thus did the two Seedseers set out for Evershade, with nary a guard to accompany them. Therein lies the rub, in the nature of the favor I ask of you. By no means would I question the powers of the Seedseers, but with the Great One's anger mounting, the Twelvewood becomes a threatening domain for even the most puissant of conjurers. Pray hasten to Evershade and see that no harm befalls the two.
Curses! How can we hope to make it to the guardian tree with these ghastly creatures bursting forth like rampant weeds? If I'd known what we were in for, I'd have brought along a wood whaler or two. In fact, I dare say we should return and do exactly that.
Oh, do not be such a coward, sister. We are Seedseers, these overgrown vermin are no match for us.
Bold words, brother. But were they true words, we would have dispatched our enemies and arrived safely at our destination bells ago. A conjurer, are you? Brother E. Sumi, ever the warrior. For once, however, his solicitude is most welcome. Might you help us dispose of these fell creatures?
Have you no pride, sister? A Seedseer does not beg the aid of some common adventurer.
Enough, brother. We have a duty to perform, a duty that takes precedence over your silly notions of pride. Now, enough talk. Let us see to these pests. The Great One does not approve of our presence here.
I'll thank you to stay out of my way, adventurer.
Bring down as many of the creatures as you can. That crystal. Do my eyes deceive me, or does this adventurer inherit the legacy of A Tower Cant? It was none other than A Tower himself who last performed the quieting. No, I do not believe this adventurer's arrival is mere coincidence, bearer of the soul crystal, inheritor of arcane knowledge long since forbidden to those not of our kind. I know not why it is you he chose, but I believe our great forefather has led you to us today. Ancient tradition dictates that the quieting be performed by 3 Pajal S. R. But I misspeak. The ritual is to be performed by 3 white mages. If Master A Tower truly has chosen this adventurer as his successor.
You speak madness, sister. Surely, you have not forgotten that Pudge Ally tradition strictly forbids sharing the teachings with those not of our kind. The power of white magic is far too great to risk it falling into the wrong hands.
And so you would uphold tradition merely for tradition's sake? Even at the risk of incurring the Great One's wrath and bringing disaster upon our forest home?
Have you so little faith in your own abilities, sister? We are seedseers, more than capable of slaying any beasts in our way and carrying out the ritual on our own.
This petty bickering is getting us nowhere. Adventurer, I am sorry to trouble you with our silly sibling squabbles. If you've the time, I would speak with you further. But not here. Come to Camp Tranquil, and come quickly, time is of the essence.
Thank you for coming, adventurer. Forgive my brother's rudeness, he cannot help that he was born with a head of solid stone. Anyways, I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Raya Osena, a Pajal, as you can see, and sister of the elder Seedseer, your onion, yes? Brother Isumi has spoken of you, and most highly, at that. As you no doubt have heard, my brother, Arun, and I were en route to the Guardian Tree. There, the Great One, by whose graces we dwell here, resides. The gentlest of guardians when at peace, a destructive force that knows no bounds when angered. As the Great One goes, so goes our fate. The creatures you helped us dispatch, doubtless they, too, were roused to hostility by the Great One in his anger. You need only look around you to see. The forest grows more and more threatening with each passing hour. So it is that we traveled here to quell the Great One's fury, to perform the quieting. In days of old, the ritual was, without fail, performed by 3 white mages. With our elder sister occupied with her many duties, my brother and I thought to attempt it on our own. Arun was quite confident, but I had my doubts. It was then that you arrived, and shortly thereafter became one of the chosen few to be gifted with a white mage's soul crystal. 'Tis no small honor, that gem marks you as an inheritor of the magic of our ancestors. My brother's pride may blind him, but the signs are clear as day to me. You are not Pajali, but 8 Hour Cant meant for you to be here today, to perform the ritual with us. 8 Hour Cant is known to all as one of the greatest mages in our history, but even more so, he was known for being something of an eccentric. In defiance of tradition, he bid farewell to his forest home, wandering the realm and healing the wounds of the land and its people wheresoever he went. A most admirable cause, yes? But alas, 8 Hour was never to return. He perished in a far-off land, and having taken no apprentices, his legendary powers were lost to us for eternity. Or so I believed, until I met you, and yet, for all his stubbornness, there is some truth to my brother's words. Ancient laws forbid us from sharing the teachings of white magic outside of our own kind. There are reasons for this, which I would share with you when the time is right. There are many who would not approve of this arrangement. Still, I am convinced that it is 8 Hour's will that we bring you into the fold. And so I welcome you, Onion of the White. I can feel the Great One's fury welling up even now. Time is short, and yet, while you may have been chosen by 8 Hour, I fear your journey as a white mage has just begun. Return to me when you have further honed your skills, and we shall proceed with your training.
The next White Mage quest will be available from Raya Osena upon reaching level 35.
Ah, Onion. Looking ever more the white mage, I see. And yet, I fear you are as ready to perform the quieting as a chocobo chick is to carry a wood whaler clad in full plate. But take heart, for we all must begin somewhere. Today, I would teach you the art of communing with the elementals. This is, by any measure, the very foundation of our art, the means by which we preserve harmony between the forest and our people. Not far from Sorrel Haven you shall find a tree, a mere sapling in the shadow of the Guardian Tree, but one that has likewise been consumed by anger and fear. I will ask you to placate this tree. The process is quite simple. Stand before the tree and raise your hands. Commune with the elementals that reside within, and attune yourself to them, until your feelings are in absolute harmony. Be forewarned, however, an angry elemental can be as stubborn as my dear brother. Do not be surprised if you find your honest plea rebuffed, and foul creatures sent to drive you from the forest. No matter what happens, you must remain calm. Dispatch the creatures, settle your heart, and speak to the tree once more. If your heart is true, your voice will reach the elemental ere long. Remember this, Onion. Under no circumstances must you allow your anger and fear to overcome you. As practitioners of white magic, the magic of succor and solace, such emotions are anathema to our very existence. A short while ago, I sensed a great anger abate. The forest is quieter, more welcoming now. It would seem you have passed your first test, Onion. The trees are the elementals are the trees. The lush verdure of the wood is inseparable from the spirits that dwell within it. But you do not need to hear this from me. Doubtless you felt it for yourself, when you healed that tree. Above all else, the elementals prize harmony. When they sense a threat to harmony, they summon forth all the powers at their disposal to expulse it. For so long have we lived in peace with the elementals. Why, now, do they turn against us? I can offer no answers, only theories. But one thing is certain, we must quell the Great One's fury, and do it soon, lest Gridornia bear the full brunt of the forest's wrath. To soothe the forest's wounds, and restore harmony, that is our duty as mages of the White, and it is a responsibility that transcends race or nation. I sensed your success in soothing the ailing tree, and am more certain of this than ever. Sadly, many cannot see past established practice and tradition, my dear brother among them. One would hope for a bit more open-mindedness given his youth, but alas, his pride as a Pudjal will not permit it. For my part, I am not entirely unsympathetic to his concerns. And yet, the task before us is too great. We must bring him around to see reason, but how? Forgive me, Onion. I would be alone with my thoughts for a while. Worry not, I will find a way to deal with a ruin. Onion. I owe you an apology. When last we spoke, I promised that I would find a way to convince my brother to accept you, but I fear he intently refuses to heed my words. Why? The more I try to reason with him, the more he shuts his ears to me. All pride and no common sense. That one, I can scarce believe we are kin. So intent is he to prove that you are unneeded that he dashed out into the forest all alone, boasting that he would placate every last elemental and save the forest all by himself. Needless to say, such a task is far beyond his powers. There is a part of me that would like nothing more than to see the foolish boy learn his lesson, and yet, as his sister, I fear for him. Would you go look after him, Onion? Seed seer or no, he is in many ways still a child, and the forest grows ever more unsafe these days. I thought to go myself, but, if you were to save my brother from his own recklessness, perhaps he might finally see how fatuous he has been. When last I spoke with him, he announced his intentions to begin his efforts in the bramble patch. With any luck, you may still find him there. Now please go in haste, before some ill fate befalls him.
Humph. If it isn't my sister's favorite adventurer. Come to show me up, have you? Well, you can march right back and tell sister that I am doing just fine. I am only, resting. Even if I were hurt and unable to placate this tree, what could a run-of-the-mill adventurer like you do about it? Humph. Beginner's luck. If you think healing a sapling or two is going to convince me that you are a worthy inheritor to the teachings of Master Atoa.
Aaron, you yourself do not believe those words.
Sister. What are you doing here?
Seeing to my pig-headed brother's safety, what do you think I am doing? For better or worse, it would appear you suffer only from bruises to your leg and your pride, Aaron. For all your obstinacy, I know that deep down you are no fool. No, you are wise beyond your years. You realize as well as I the dire fate that will befall Gridornia if we do not quell the Great One's fury and restore peace to the wood. The adventurer is not Pajali, this is true. But what of it? Would you blindly trumpet tradition as the very forest turns against us and brings ruin to our home? We have a greater calling to answer, you know this.
I do, sister.
Oh, my dear Arun. What are sisters for, if not to forgive their little brother's fits of folly? Now, Onion, I believe the most important task of all still awaits us. Let us return to Camp Tranquil.
Sorry, those were a little too robotic and raspy. I switched the male and female voices a little bit.
Onion, thank you. I knew it was only a matter of time before Arun came around to reason. And yet, his hesitance to accept you was not entirely unfounded. When we first met, I promised that one day I would share with you the tale of how white magic came to be regarded as a forbidden art. Well, I suppose this is as good a day as any for the telling. The tale begins some 3 millennia ago, in the 5th astral era. It was the time of the endless frost, when a barren wasteland of snow and rime stretched as far as the eye could see. Food was scarce, and warmth scarcer. The histories hold many a grim tale of those who died in their beds, starving and benumbed. So did our ancestors discover magic, born out of the most fundamental instinct, survival. In time, the winter thawed, and magic was no longer essential for survival. But once awakened to its conveniences, there was no returning to how things once were. Ere long, the people discovered all the myriad ways in which magic could be employed, and civilization flourished. But prosperity breeds contempt, and nations warred for power and riches. So did the people seek greater and greater power, to rain destruction down upon their enemies. So was born black magic, the most devastating form of sorcery the world had seen. At the same time, another form of magic emerged, brought forth by those who would keep this immense destructive power in check. That is white magic, our magic. Does this surprise you? Just as there can be no dawn without the night, the white and black are but two sides of the same coin. War raged on, and magic was used and abused with little concern for the consequences. And consequences there were. Unchecked use of magic soon dried the flow of ether, threatening to bring blight to the land. The magic of healing? It made little difference. If used with no concern for the ether, our magic could prove as ruinous to the land as the most devastating black magic spell. And so it was that the practicing of white magic was forbidden, with one exception. The Pajal. Our kind were entrusted as sole shepherds of the now forbidden art, to serve as healers and bringers of peace while ensuring that this great power would never again be misused. Though he is still young, Arun feels this profound sense of responsibility as strongly as any of us, thus his hesitance to accept you. But having seen your abilities, and the sincerity of your intentions, you can rest assured his doubts have been dispelled. With the 3 of us united in place and purpose, and your skills ever growing, the day that we may perform the quieting draws near. To our fortune, the Great One has not yet been entirely consumed by fury, but our time remains short. To commune with the Great One, and restore the 12th wood to its former state of harmony, we must truly be one of heart, one of mind. It is to this end that Atoakant has guided you to us. Further your mastery of our art, Onion, and let us mend the wounds of the wood together. Your command of white magic has advanced considerably, Onion. Yes, the time draws near. Let us begin our preparations for the quieting. At its roots, the ritual is no different from the acts of pacifying that you have already performed. The difference lies only in the difficulty of the effort. The Great One possesses a power unfathomably more immense than the elementals you have communed with thus far. Power so immense that a mage might be easily overwhelmed by the sheer force of its will. To prevent such a catastrophic fate, our tradition decrees that a special garb must be donned before performing the ritual. I have prepared for you these pieces, but I fear they will not avail you in their current state. So it is that I would send you on a journey. I trust you know the story of Atoakant. Rare among the Pajal, he left the forest behind to travel the realm, healing the land and its people. As tribute to his wanderlust, after he passed, his ashes were divided among several urns, which were in turn carried to the far reaches of the realm. And it was there, in the distant lands that the great mage so loved, that his ashes were buried, and monuments erected in his honor. You are to go on a pilgrimage to these sites, and receive the blessings of your forebear. Only then will the garb I've gifted you be imbued with his divine powers. Mind you, you will find that these places are not as welcoming as they might have been in Master Atoa's time. The first site is on the shores of western La Nosha, in a place now feared as the Serpent's Tongue, home to a band of vile pirates. The next is to be found in Mordona, in that overgrown labyrinth of roots and vines so affectionately known as the Tangle. I do hope that Master Atoa's ashes have survived those most oppressive environs. The third site I would have you visit is perhaps the most treacherous location of the lot, Raubon's Push in northern Thanalan, a stone's throw from an imperial stronghold. I urge you to exercise extreme caution.
The grey stone is inscribed with an epitaph paying tribute to the life and deeds of the great mage, Atoakant.
Your safe return heartens me, Onion. I can feel newfound power emanating from the garb I gave you. I trust that this stage of your pilgrimage was a success. Now that you have traveled the realm and seen the land as Master Atoa did, I would share with you the rest of his tale. The histories claim that Atoa Kant disappeared in the mountains of Ogamuro, the kobold motherland. This is not untrue, but there is more to the story. When the great mage did not return from his journey, one of his most devoted students went in search of him. As the legends have it, the young mage single-handedly fought off veritable legions of kobolds while scouring the mountains for any sign of his master. Sadly, it was as all had feared. Though the young mage eventually found his master, the great Atoa Kant lived no more. As if the death of the man were not enough, Thyrus, Atoa Kant's great staff, a mighty relic passed down by his ancestors, was lost to the shadows. Undeterred, the young mage fought off the kobold hordes to carry his master's remains back to the surface. A ceremony was held to honor Master Atoa's life and deeds, and urns housing his ashes were carried off to the far-reaching frontiers of which he was so fond in his living years. All the urns, that is, except for one. Yes, though the precise location is known to only a few, Master Atoa also rests closer to home. Here in the Twelves Wood, not far from Proud Creek, you will find yet another monument to the great mage. Take with you this habit, and pay your respects as before. If you keep pure intentions in your heart and in your mind, then the healer's robe shall be your reward.
The grave has been defiled, and its contents appear to have been stolen. The power of Atoa Kant has been lost here. Return to Camp Tranquil and seek counsel from Raya O Senna.
The urn holding Master Atoa's ashes was stolen? This cannot be. Grave robbery is a damnable enough crime in itself, but what manner of scoundrel would dare defile the resting place of a pudjal? Rest assured that I will investigate this heinous crime immediately. In the meantime, your pilgrimage demands you travel to one last destination. This final leg of your journey will take you to the very place that Master Atoa drew his last breath, Ogamuro, the homeland of the kobolds in Outer La Nosha. It is there, in plain sight of the kobold dig, that the student of whom I spoke did erect a monument to his fallen master. Welcome back, Onion. The journey was not an easy one, I trust, and yet I knew that Master Atoa would guide you safely back to me. In your travels, you have received the blessings of our great ancestor. And yet, this was not the sole reason I sent you on this pilgrimage. Perhaps you sensed something of my intentions during your trip. Yes, Onion. As she who would inherit Master Atoa's legacy, I wanted you to truly walk in his footsteps. To see the realm, in both its beauty and its suffering, with your own eyes, as the great mage did so long ago. And yet it is strange, no? A pirate's lair, a rampant jungle, mountains of fire, of all the hostile environs to which you journeyed, the single grave despoiled was that which rests right here in our forest home. I suspect this was the handiwork of no witless grave robber, but rather someone who knew all too well the value of that which was buried within. We must uncover the truth behind this crime and return Master Atoa's ashes to their rightful resting place, and quickly. You are with me, yes? Grave robbery is a loathsome enough crime in its own right, but to defile the final resting place of a pudjal. Such an act could only be performed by the lowliest of bandit scum. Though I would like to think that the elementals have already delivered due justice to the villain, we must take no chances in allowing an escape. Whilst you were away, I put my best Moogle on the hunt, searching for any sign of the culprit or the stolen remains. I dare say he should have a clue or two for us by now. At least, he better, if he values that little ball on his head. Suffice it to say, though many forest-born think of the Moogles as blessed, my own personal experience has found them to be more touched than anything else.
Oh, mistress. You shouldn't say such hurtful things. It's most unbecoming of a seed seer, Kupo, but fine, don't listen to me. Why, I told her just the other day that this is why she remains, shall we say, unspoken for. She might not react to that phrasing at present, but her ire was indeed fierce. Kupo, of course, you have not come to discuss my mistress' temper, but the grave robbery. A most unforgivable act of villainy, if I do say so myself, which I believe I just did. Kupo, I am pleased to say, and you will be pleased to hear, that the culprit did not escape Moogle eyes. Kupo. Well, my eyes, he did escape. My associate Putnopoki, however, claims to have seen a band of ruffians skulking off in the direction of Redbelly Hive with various and sundry stolen goods in tow, among them, a rather conspicuously elaborate urn. Kupo, I do not know what the Redbellies are up to, but surely it can be nothing good. Please, Onion, go quickly.
If the urn is lost, I fear Rayo's ire will be the least of my worries, Kupo.
Those thieving crooks. Those crooked thieves. Defiling the resting place of a pudjal? Why, no amount of thrashings, lashings, and bashings would suffice. Kupopo? Why, if it isn't the lovely white mage Kupcha Koopa spoke of. And not a moment too soon. Why, I was just about to swoop in and give them their comeuppance myself. Now that you're here, however, I believe I'll just sit back and enjoy the show. Kupo, Those vile red bellies tossed the urn onto some ramshackle wagon, a most ignoble fate for a Pajala legend, I do declare, and carted it northwise toward their hive. You will retrieve it safe and sound, won't you, Kupo?
Thank you, Onion. The remains of our exalted forebear hauled away by brigands like a sack of loot. Is that what our land has come to? There can be no doubt. It is the Great One's fury that brings such chaos to the Twelfthwood. The situation is grave indeed. I shall have our wood whalers deal with the red bellies. We have more important matters before us. And yet, I fear we have hit another snag. Though the urn has been safely recovered, the harsh treatment it suffered at the hands of the bandits has taken its toll. Uprooted from its proper resting place, the power of Atoa Camp once housed within has grown dim. I shall return the urn to its rightful home. Perhaps, over time, it will return to its former state. And yet I fear time is a luxury we do not have. We must explore other means to enchant the ritual garb. I will consult with my brother to see what knowledge he might have to offer. In the meantime, I would ask that you master your newfound skills as best you can. There is no telling when the Great One's fury might grow too strong to contain. We must ever be prepared. Forgive me, Onion. Brother and I have considered every possibility and attempted every incantation at our disposal, but I fear the task of completing the enchantment has proven beyond our abilities.
No living Pajal, not even our sister, possesses such power. Without the blessing of Atoa Camp, there is nothing we can do.
With the ashes returned to their rightful resting place, Atoa Camp's spirit will return. Surely, it is only a matter of time.
Look around you, sister. Open your eyes and ears. Time is one thing we do not have.
Arun.
The fury of the Great One mounts with each passing moment. It will not be contained much longer. No, the time for waiting is long past. Now is the time for action.
But, Onion's garb. The enchanting is not yet complete.
The situation is far from ideal. Yet we have no choice. We must trust in Onion's powers and do what we can.
Do I hear you right, Arun? Why, it was not long ago that you objected to Onion's very presence at the ritual.
I may be stubborn, sister, but I am no fool. I have witnessed Onion's abilities with my own eyes. There can be no doubting that she is a mage of the white, one as worthy as you and I.
Arun, if you would place your trust in Onion so, I see no reason why I should not. Very well, let us hasten for Evershade.
The Great One's rage is too strong. I cannot reach him.
Stay focused, Arun. If we fall, who will rise to take our place?
But, sister, the forest itself turns against us.
If we can only reach the Great One, his minions will relent. Cast away your worries, and focus your mind on the ritual. No. Onion.
Stand strong, Onion. Are you going to let some overgrown shrub ruffle your feathers? And the two of you. Don't you have a ritual to perform?
Do my eyes deceive me?
This is no time for chit-chat. Rhea O, Arun, Onion, focus your energies on the Guardian Tree. We must quell the Great One's fury. Dispatch its minions and resume the quieting. The Great One is consumed by grief and anger. Our words will not reach him in this state. Fear not, my children, I will protect you. Focus your energies on the quiet.
Out of my way, fell creature. I cannot concentrate on the ritual.
That's the spirit, my children. I feel the Great One responding. Now, focus your powers on the Guardian Tree.
Is it over?
The Great One's anger abates. You have done well, my children.
Master Atoa. Do you truly, live?
Live? Not as you would define the word. Mayhap in the heart of Onion here, whose strength I borrowed to join you.
It's a miracle.
Aye, it may very well be. Or perhaps the Mother Crystal heard this old soul's wish. I lived a long and fruitful life. But when I drew my last breath in Ogamuro that day, I did so with one profound regret, that I would pass from this realm without finding a worthy inheritor to bequeath my knowledge in full. My spirit left my lifeless body to abide in this soul crystal, with the hope that one day it would find its way into the hands of my successor. For years, my consciousness slumbered in the darkness, until I met Onion. From the moment you took my crystal in hand, I knew. Pajal or no, I had at long last found one to whom I could truly pass on my knowledge. Yes, Onion, I knew.
Master Atoa?
The power of the crystal grows faint. It would seem my all too brief sojourn here has come to an end. Farewell, Onion of the White. Farewell, my children. I leave my forest home in your capable hands.
Master Atoa. He has left us.
And yet by his power, and that of his successor, Onion, the Great One's fury is quelled, and the 12th is safe. Though Master Atoa traveled the world, no doubt his heart always remained here. In the forest home he loved, he waited for us.
Why, brother, for once, you almost sound wise beyond your years.
Strange, is it not? Perhaps I have finally learned something from you, dear sister.
As I could learn something from you, Arun. Your pride as a Pudjal, your deep respect for our past, these are traits to be admired. The same can be said for Master Atoa's liberality. Yes, I believe there is a place for both beliefs among our kind. The road was a long and winding one, but at long last our work is done. Let us return to Camp Tranquil. To meet Master Atoa in the flesh. Well, not flesh, perhaps. I am still shaking from the experience, and from the pure joy of seeing peace return to my forest home at last. I will be forever grateful to you, Onion. I am honored that we were able to heal the wood together. I speak not only for myself, my brother has expressed the same sentiments. Were Master Atoa here, I am sure he would say the same. Though, perhaps he is still here in some form. Behold. The final piece of your garb now pulses with his ancient power. Yes, there can be no doubt that Master Atoa intended this as his parting gift to you. Take it, and wear it with pride, Onion of the White. Before we part, I would bestow unto you a present of my own. By the ancient powers vested in me as a seed seer, I bestow upon you the greatest incantation known to our kind. May you ever heed the will of the elementals, and use it in wisdom and compassion. Phew. I'm not given to formalities. I swear, I do not know how my sister manages. In the short time I have known you, Onion, you have grown into a fine white mage. I am honored to call you my peer. Use your powers in moderation, and let compassion be your guide, and I have no doubt that you will bring succor and solace wherever your journey takes you.
This concludes the White Mage quests for Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. In order to undertake, must meet the following requirements. You must have completed the main scenario quest before the dawn. Once you have done so, the next White Mage quest will be available from Raya Osena.
Alright, that's going to wrap up White Mage 30 to 50. A Realm Reborn set of quests with the gear. I'm going to level up to 60, and then we'll do the 50 to 60 next. I don't think it'll take me more than like 3 or 4 runs of dungeons, because I do have the dailies to run. So, alright, thanks for watching. Again, anything else you'd like to see, please let me know. Leave a comment if this type of content works for you. If it does help provide the story, maybe get you to see something you didn't see before, because we do kind of button mash non-voice-overed text bubbles. But anyway, I'd love to hear your feedback. Join me in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.